The chainsaw against bureaucracy sure does cut deep.
This is the chainsaw for bureaucracy. Chainsaw.
That's one of his baby mamas. As Donald Trump is on an absolute tear right now, kicking some major butt, getting some retribution, and the corporate media is freaking out. There's so many things, some of them petty, but some of them so epic, so poetic. And someone who is a libertarian, anarchist, a Ron Swanson type archetype. Wow! Jeez, golly gracious of holy molies. Did I ever expect anything like this to happen? A little bit. But it finally is happening, and it's happening in a way where, damn, you just gotta look back and see there's a shift in the culture. There's a shift in the conversation, as even mainline polls are attributing how people want less and less government in their life, and they're not falling for the larger lies and psyops in our society. As, of course, people are like, hey, do you want free education and health care? It's not free. Do you want to pay government services that are not incentivized to be good, that have a monopoly of violence, and essentially have no reason to provide you any kind of better service than the private market? Do you want mediocre education and absolute horrible healthcare, which we're going to forcefully take money? No. And the vast majority of Americans are realizing, yeah, government is a scam here, especially with all the incredible work that Deutsche is doing, as I think Stephen Miller really brought the point home recently on Fox News by bringing this up, which, of course, Elon Musk tweeted out on his social media platform.
President Trump is exposed through the Department of Government Efficiency should outrage every American. This is the theft of your hard work. This is the theft of your life's labor. And President Trump is restoring accountability, and he's stopping the taxpayers' wealth from being raided and abused.
By the way, don't ever relax on saying that, ever. That's really bad advice. Don't ever listen to
I never will,
anchor.
Sean.
All right, Stephen Miller, thank you. We appreciate it. When we come back, after they...
Yeah, as what we're seeing here is clearly a larger transformation of our society, as the waste is big, just like people's BMIs. As right now, Deutsche just found $2 billion that were earmarked for Stacey Abrams-linked organizations and groups. Why are we financing leftist, liberal, woke, democratic, gay causes all around the world? It makes no sense at all, as Donald Trump has taken it even a step further. Not just with exposing, not just with stopping, but also selling off a lot of the useless assets in our society that just conveniently are also named after Nancy Pelosi, as he is every step of the way just becoming more epic, more incredulous against the deep state bureaucracy and the politicians that have sold us out. Nancy Pelosi, again, one of the best, smartest, richest investors of our time. Yeah, right.
White House is looking to sell the Nancy Pelosi Federal Building on 7th Street and the century-old building at 50 United Nations Plaza. The Trump administration says it will save money by avoiding maintenance on the buildings, selling the properties, then leasing office space for federal workers. Former Congresswoman Jackie Spears says it's just about vengeance.
It's another example of how he's coming after Democrats, he's coming after California, and it's all about payback.
Yes, and give me more, please. And what did you think was going to happening here? As, of course, the purges have just begun, as the Daily Mail reports that the Pentagon purge just started, as one of America's highest military-ranking officials was just fired from the job. Before talking about that, I mean, some of the memes here are just great here. They're pretty incredible, like this one of FBI hand signs that show people getting fired. Saying, hey, I need an employment application here. Hey, is that where you drop off your khaki fans? Hey, I see a position available at Border Patrol. Hey, forced retirement. And These memes are just beautiful. Are just epic. I mean, when did we ever expect something like this to happen? I mean, people making memes about their FBI agents, watching them making memes about them being fired. This is the type of reality that I was supposed to be in, and being in this one is such an incredible moment that I'm so happy to have a small part. I'm so happy to be able to see this, to report on this, because truly, it's not just FBI agents. It's not just the Pentagon. It's also IRS agents that are being laid off here. And then, of course, we have one of the biggest firings yet, and that is the Joint Chief of Staffs. Now, this is a key position, of course, as you will be reminded here that this is also the kind of organization that previously planned Operation Northwoods, which was going to launch false flag attacks in order to blame Cuba and start a larger war behind it. But before getting into this and the corporate media's kind of reaction to this, and them saying that this has to do with just some of the most absurd reasons possible, we wanted to tell you about the sponsor of today's video and our independent media organization. That, of course, is Land of Biltong. BiltongUSA.com. Promo code WRC for 10% off of your purchase. We have this stuff literally all around the studio. I just took it out the refrigerator. It is it's behind me. It is some really good top-notch meat that, no Diddy, you should put it in your mouth. As BiltongUSA.com is a family-friendly snack, low in carbs and packed with protein, making Biltong the ultimate health snack. Biltong is a great source of iron and several essential nutrients, including magnesium, potassium, and B vitamins. Fueling gains in every aspect of your life, whether you're following a carnivore, keto, or high-protein diet, Biltong is the perfect addition to keep you on track. Use code WRC for 10% off of your purchases and enjoy the great products that are available to you. Listen, this is awesome. This is really great. You click here, view products. They got a lot of great stuff. These guys are also getting a lot of attacks from the government as well. And truly, they support a lot of really good independent media organizations out there. We're one of them, and it's a pleasure to work for them. We give them a discount on our ad rates because their products are so great. They literally mail me the products every single week, and I'm so happy that they do. People that are, of course, in our lives always get Biltong. They're always happy. They're like, I got to find out more about this. This is the perfect thing to kind of give to someone that likes things like beef jerky but wants a healthy alternative without any of the nonsense and bull crap in it. The dried fruit and nuts stuff is also really good as well. Support them. Support a small business and support someone that does some really awesome work. They also do live streams. Check them out. We'll put their description and information and social media channels down in the description below. Promo code WRC. Use it right now. Save some money and get yourself some really good high protein amazing snacks that really do make the biggest difference when it comes to all the exceptional gains in all aspects of your personal life. Now let's talk about this guy here, because this is a very important story. As I was kind of looking and like, okay, what's the real reason here? And of course, the first thing that pops up on YouTube for some strange reason, I don't know why YouTube allows this fake news, disinformation, fear-mongering, sensationalistic piece of trash organization on their platform. I mean, they clearly violated a lot of terms and services, especially when it comes to, just being honest. And telling the truth here, but for some reason, I was doing research and I was like, okay, let's find out what everyone else saying. And this is the type of nonsense. This is the type of dribble. This is the type of insanity that people are still being spewed when it comes to breaking news. And of course, this simpleton, this converted Larry Bootleg King had this to say.
Well, my reaction is that the Trump Pentagon does not welcome black people. They're discouraging black people from joining. There's no home for women. We know also the CNO of the Navy, the Chief Naval Operations Officer.
Yep, they fired him because he's black. That's the simpleton. That's the low IQ. That's how stupid CNN thinks you are. That's how low level of thinking that they're dealing with. I'm not talking about record, not talking about political alignment, not talking about larger kind of practices and ideologies that, of course, represent this man or, of course, his actual merit. No, he's fired because he's black. Are you freaking kidding me? I mean, this is just the type of thinking. This is why Donald Trump just a couple moments ago called out the fake news media and said MSNBC, commonly known as MSDNC, is a threat to our democracy. Such lying and misrepresentation, bad people at the top. And he just posted that, of course, on Truth Social, as they are saying very similar things to CNN right now that are just going after racial nonsensical explanations. As of course the explanation is there's certain people in the military that are in there only because of their political ideology, only there because they served a purpose of the Biden administration that specifically wanted to achieve political gains and not gains for the country. Donald Trump doesn't want a lot of people who are politically aligned with the old administration in his chief of in this larger kind of position, because when they are, they clearly will be acting on the best behalf of the larger kind of weaponization of our political system that sadly has turned into a very egregious political system that sadly now has a lot of lines drawn in it. So clearly, Donald Trump saying, yeah, I don't want to cater to any of these kind of woke diversity, equity, inclusion programs in our military, and we want to specifically focus on getting the people in there that actually will represent my larger political ideology, and shifting away from the larger previous ideology is more of a logical kind of explanation to what's going on here. But again, when we see these kind of corporate media just simply say, it's just because he's black. And again, specifically undermining all the other people that are a part of Trump's administration that, of course, don't play up to a lot of those little low IQ monikers, really just is infuriating for a lot of people. But it is good to see people fired, as Trump is firing a lot of people. And I bet he's not just doing it because they're black, as he just fired his ICE chief, as he says that he hasn't been deporting people fast enough, and he's going to be replacing him. Now, is this because he was white? No one cares about that. So why are we even including that in our national discourse and dialogue? Well, that's because CNN is toxic. They want to sow racial division and, of course, sow you more hatred and anger towards your fellow American. Trump is also firing federal workers who are not even funded by taxpayers. Good. They're funded by industries that they regulate. Good. Fire them. Fire as many people as possible. As Donald Trump is also now recently threatening to cut the federal funding for Maine, as the governor there had a very interesting conversation with Donald Trump in real life, where Donald Trump literally said, yeah, we're just going to cut your funding, okay? You're going to stop males, biological males, competing in women's sports. And the governor of Maine said, no, we're going to follow state laws. We're not going to. And Trump's like, no, but this is federal law. This supersedes it. The governor of Maine was like, no, I'm not doing it. And then Trump's like, fine, we'll just cut your funding, which saves the American taxpayer that much more money. As now, on a recent phone call, Trump called the governor of Maine him a bunch of times.
President Trump referred to Governor Mills as he or him at least 6 times in that call.
Whatever is going on with him, radical left governor.
The Chinese
announced his plan already. He wants
it's not racist
to resettle 75,000 migrants.
It comes from
China. It looks like there's some other program playing in the backdrop. Apologies for that, as clearly Donald Trump here is not playing nice anymore. He has given up on this larger notion of trying to appease the left, of trying to be liked by the corporate media. He's actually going out there trying to sign favorable deals for the American people. Instead of giving stuff away, he's actually trying to get something back for the general public, for the American public, for the people that have been skinned, that have been taxed, that have been regulated, that have had the full might of the federal government in their way from always achieving their dreams, goals, and aspirations. All of that is now finally gone. Now, whatever you might think about the larger kind of geopolitical maneuvers, it is interesting to understand that this is a totally different juggernaut of an individual than we have ever dealt with before. This is a totally different situation than we have ever dealt with before. It is clear as day. Donald Trump is a totally different person than he was in 2016. Some would say he's just absolutely reckless, but I would say with the circumstance, with the situation that he has previously dealt with before, maybe he's not reckless enough, as clearly there were major attacks against him. Clearly, there were so many awful people in his old administration that were even trying to set him up to be in jail. They were literally trying to go to Jeffrey Epstein and say, we'll give you a good deal. Just give us all the dirt you got on Donald Trump. Just make sure we make Donald Trump the fall guy here. That's what they proposed. They said, look, give us someone bigger than yourself. Give us Donald Trump. And this was Trump's own DOJ. Okay. So I think Trump realizes now more than ever, he cannot have people that are ideologically opposed to him in high positions of power. There's going to be a lot of firings. There's going to be a lot of people that are just simply not doing their job well or efficient enough. And I think that's needed. And I think that has never really happened in government before, where everyone is just happy, settled in, getting all their benefits, and not expected to do a good job. Again, the biggest difference between private enterprise and government is government doesn't need to do any kind of quality assurance. The private industries, they do. Now that changes with Donald Trump, and I think that's a great change. Talking about quality, some of the best quality meat out there, BiltongUSA.com, promo code WRC, BiltongUSA.com. Thank you guys for supporting and sponsoring us. Go check them out, go support them, and go start your own healthy carnivore adventures by supporting a good business as well. I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on YouTube.com/WeAreChange.